Alright, hey everybody, we are actually in the eye wall of a slightly stronger Ada. It is unbelievable. Whipping here.
This old job is always causing stress.
I'm tucking the truck here.
All I ever do is work. I don't get no rest.
Man, I got some video footage.
Night is on the way.
Crazy. Let me see if I can get outside.
Down in trouble water.
You just wouldn't believe how much rock in the truck is. Oh shit!
Oh, man, drunk donkey IPA. Let that magic mango chase my blues away.
We're in the eye of Ada here in Key Largo.
Among my friends.
Tremendous
I
weather
swear the page goes live again.
coming in. Currently, I'm semi-protected here by my truck, so no worries. But semi-protected. I don't want to get the camera wet, and the trees beside me are completely sideways. I'm not sure what the gusts are, but definitely this is a tropical storm. I think we're seeing a little higher gusts. I got the back turned right now and trying to keep the camera from getting wet. We're in Key Largo. We're in the eye of Ada.
Good Friday song. My boy Andy. Yee-haw. Yeah. We are so lucky. He wrote us some really good ones. I know he's working on another one. Andy's from Perry, Florida. Andy Simmons. And they cannot catch a break up there. Nobody in the Panhandle, Big Bend area there. Well, Big Bend area. South a little bit. Idalia and tornadoes, man. What did y'all do to deserve that, right? Man. All right. Well, it's Friday. Happy Friday for some. A lot of cleanup going on in the state of Florida today. We had a pretty major outbreak of storms there for some. Yeah, and we're going to talk about it. So good morning. This is Mike. This is Louie. Louie's favorite part of the day is to sleep. Oh, Shelly, this is Shelly. You're falling into the same trap that I'm in. I get the two confused sometimes. The other day I woke up and it was Hunter, but he crawled up in my lap and I was looking at him and I'm like, which one are you? Anyway. All right, we're going to say hey to some folks. I missed yesterday. We were storm chasing and it was a long couple days for me. I got some stories to tell. This is our daily brew, of course, brought to you by our good friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Crazy story about ABC I want to share. They were about 3 buildings away from the tornado up in Crystal River. And I was on the phone with my buddy Sean there, and I could not believe how close their store was to the path of that awful twister that Crystal River got. So I was actually on site taking pictures for them and doing a little surveying of the damage. I had to sneak my way in, sweet talk the sheriffs to let me in because the city was actually closed. So they didn't have any idea how their store was. So the little thing that I can do for all that they do for me, for sure. So make sure you support ABC here if you live in the great state of Florida. I'm gonna put it on the radar right now. Then we're gonna talk. I'm gonna say hello to some folks. Ivana, yeah, this is the most laid back dog on the planet. Some people think he's AI. Tricky Vicky, good morning. Oh, we got a Falcon Heavy launch. Is that what part of the state is that? I might be able to see it over here. Oh, Shelly, it's over by you. Huh. Good morning from PR, Sarah, Puerto Rico. You might be getting some rains next week from Invest 94. We're going to talk about that. Tropics are very odd. We might have a late October system nearing the Eastern Caribbean. Well, Shelly, I knew it was close to you. I didn't know if it was Texas or Florida. Really, dude, Mike? I don't know. I'm not a solar eclipse guy, and I'm not a NASA. I love NASA, but SpaceX, excuse me. Well, it's both, but I did go to the first space shuttle launch. My dad took me over there. Been to many space shuttle launches. I just don't keep up. Is what I'm getting at. The Cape. Good morning, Mr. Eric. What's up, Joanne? You're welcome, Joanne. Yeah, I felt. Oh, good morning from St. Thomas, Stacy. Yep. Good morning from Nashville, Fran. I love Nashville. Oh my God, I got kicked out of the Big and Rich's bar there. I fell asleep a lot. I get a lot of second winds. So, people are like their dogs. Dogs are like their people. And sometimes I take a little nap, and then I feel good again. And that's kind of what Louie does. Oh, Elizabeth, holy moly, I was in your town yesterday. Hope you saw some of the video. It's terrible. I'm going to show it here in a second. We're going to talk about weather. Trust me, I'm going to show some video from our outbreak here, tornadoes in Florida last couple of days. Say a couple more hellos. Jamie Wood, hello. We look alike, Donna. I know. I heard that before. He likes to wear hats too. Now you leave this on. You show him how good you are. This is going to be a proof of how good Louie is. Louie, stay. Stay. Good boy. I love this dog. All right, let's talk some weather. Where's my sound effect machine at? It's Friday the 13th. Where did it go? That's weird. I don't know where my sound effects machine went. I thought it was in a hat. It wasn't a hat. Oh, it's in my bucket hat. Okay. So sound of the day. Then we're going to get right into weather. Here we go. I promise. I got my hats over there. I feel like a NASCAR guy. I got all my hats. There you go. Hat of the day. All right, now you can stop that. All right. Good morning, Miss Linda. Yeah, so this is Lorena. Nope, did not. I got a couple hours sleep. Wilmington, yeah, I'm gonna talk about that tabletop Greek. All right, so I'm gonna go right into things. So we were talking about this buildup of Florida's potential. Some were talking about it, some weren't. There was a lot of, I think, some in denial. Models were very strong, and unfortunately, we did get that big run of tornadic activity overnight, and it lasted, obviously, the worst time of the day overnight. And we had 34 tornado warnings all in all, when all said and done, Wednesday night into Thursday. So 34 tornado warnings. 5 have been verified. I'm sure they're going to do more assessment. But Central part of Florida definitely got it. I know Long Track tornadoes are very rare in Florida, and the one that I went to see in Crystal River, I'm going to show you some video. I've never seen nothing like it because I cover hurricanes, and living in Florida, we don't get tornadoes like they do out west. But what I did learn is that El Nino is coming, and El Nino brings that jet stream down, subtropical jet, horizontal jet, exactly what we saw. Horizontal jet stream. We had instability pulling up from the Gulf. We had conflicting levels of the atmosphere, exactly what it takes for things to spin up. And you get these conflicting shear directions, kind of like you see in the Midwest, and that's exactly what fuels these big tornadoes, a strong jet. And if we get that subtropical jet stream this winter, guess what? We're going to see that. And unfortunately, some of the most strongest tornadoes Florida's ever got back in the day, years ago, and have always been during strong El Nino events. And so hopefully it's not, but that could be what we're in for. We'll see. All right, so we're going to get into all the weather. I just want to show this real quick. So this front's just going to hang out. We got a front coming down this weekend. Some storms for the Carolinas we're going to get into later. The big rains, though, does not look like we're going to have a washout for the weekend, so I'm going to get into that. This is what's left over right now down in South Florida. Cold front's on its way, clearing out probably most for Sunday, a little bit lingering down south. We'll get into that. I also want to bring up our friends in Bermuda. Lori, if you're watching, we talked about this a lot a couple days ago, but this energy did push over Bermuda. They had a big blob of rains and storms early this morning. I didn't get to catch it on the radar, but that was pretty much what they had. So they had a little bit of strong action too, with this kind of frontal coastal low going down. So here's some of the stuff. All right, so let me get into this one first. So first thing started, we had a tornado warning around 12:30. This is Oldsmar. So I got my new drone out. I'm filming from our Tampa Bay Brewing Company, Major and David over there. I got to go shoot some video after our live because there was one house that got the roof ripped off here in Oldsmar. It's really hard to see this, but you can see this is looking west. This is the storm moving northeast. You can see spin right over Tampa Road here and to the south, definitely reaching the surface in spots. And I was talking to my neighbor. Here it comes right now. You can see it. This is Tampa Road. This is 580. 580 is looking straight ahead, and then 584 is kind of going diagonal. There's the tail end of that right now crossing. So one thing I mentioned the other night when we did our live on Wednesday, I hate it. I don't know what the heck. The National Weather Service did not issue their tornado watch until everybody's in bed. It happens. I predicted it. I will say it. I predicted it. It always happens. Even our neighbor next door told me that he got the warning as crap was hitting his windows. So we had a lot of wind here in Oldsmar. It knocked a lot of stuff off of our, trees. So I think I captured it. You can kind of see it. I just wish it was a little clearer. But that's the Oldsmar tornado. Things started then. And then we had the big one coming in off of the coast. Now, if you were following me, I was storm chasing all night from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. 2 nights ago. I actually got about 1 hour sleep. Then we were tracking the storms coming in off the Gulf. Now, here is one of those videos. This obviously made the rounds across, this is the Dunedin Causeway. So yeah, that was pretty big for our area. The shopping center with the famous portalette door was right on the other side. That's where Cricketers is at. Truck was on its side. So it definitely made touchdown for a brief moment here at home. This is exactly where I wrote it out at. So this is an amazing story. So I did this video. This is an actual door of a portalette. And this shopping center is where I sat for that tornado. I was sitting here right before that tornado came through. I got out of there. If you're watching me, I'm going to go back and watch. There's me filming. But that's a portalette door that got slammed somehow against that light pole. The weirdest thing you ever seen. Now over there in the side, you can see the truck that was down. All that shopping center got a lot of damage. But when I was watching radar, I decided to leave because I didn't like it. I didn't like where I was at. one thing I learned about tornadoes is it is so hard to predict where they're at based on velocity and radar signature. That's why nighttime tornadoes are terrible. You can't see them. And if they're rain wrapped, you can't see them. That's why all the storm chasers try to go on the south side of them, or, just maybe in front of them out west, so you can get them before the rain blocks the view. So I got out of there like literally a couple minutes before that thing hit. I ended up going across the street to Days Body Shop Collision Center, and if I had my drone up in the air, and the roof of that Days was being worked on, but a lot of those pieces flew, a lot of steel, and I got to go back and watch that, but it scared the heck out of me. So the tornado went that way to Days. That's where I was at, and I got video of me probably screaming because it was loud. When that roof came off of that Days, I ran into my truck quick. Then the other tornado went to Crystal River, and I had a lot of people reaching out to me, Mike, please, we're beat up bad here. We're beat up bad. So this area has a really, 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 really soft spot now in my heart because of Idalia. And a lot of my CNN interviews, the News Nation interviews were at Crystal River. So I told Julie when I came home around noon, I'm like, I got to go to Crystal River. I got to go see up there what's going on. So when I got there, obviously you couldn't get in. Luckily, one of the sheriffs recognized me and allowed me to go in. The whole city was in chaos because it was just a long track tornado. And I'm talking like nothing you ever see in Florida. And it was damaged. Roads blocked. I mean, the reason they can't have you in there is there's nowhere to go. Roads, power lines are down everywhere. I mean, it, to me, was almost worse than hurricane footage that you're going to see here. Obviously, you don't see this unless it's a major, major hurricane. So I was really in shock to see the level of damage from a tornado. So I've never tracked tornadoes. When you live in Florida, you don't see this. I mean, you get these little spin up, little zeros and ones. You'll get a building or two damaged, but you don't see this. So this was, unfortunately part of the scenes. Before I forget, I will say the mayor tracked me down up there, and I was very, very pleased to meet him and his wife. They drove and found me and thanked me, and it felt really good. And for bringing awareness to his city. So that meant a lot, more than anything, to hear that from them. So that was cool. All right, here's a little video just kind of showing you what's going on. Let me get this picture out of picture here. But, this is some drone footage. This is my new drone. First time I got to really use it. And that was my drone around the portalet door too. But, obviously it touched down here, and I hate showing it, but people wanted me to show that they were hit hard. And you can see there's a country club that came in from the southeast there, and it came across this country club. And unfortunately, I took some back roads around there, and I did see a bunch of houses that were hit really hard too. So, on the other side of this country club, there was some houses. And one thing I heard too was generators. Every house had a generator running. So that was really surreal for me. And I tell you the other thing too, man, the linemen. I met so many linemen that were fans of the page, but my God, I have never seen so many linemen there. Trucks everywhere. This just happened less than 12 hours ago, and they were everywhere helping. So that was amazing. Props to Florida and being ready for this on site instantly. So that was really a plus to see. Here's another video. Now this one, here's my ABC story. Right here, where my mouse is, there's a racetrack, there's a building. ABC is right here. These are some line workers working. This is just another video showing, the storm, how it came across, and some of the work that was going on. And pretty much you can see how it just took everything out. And then, looking that way is where I was before. So it just left a clear path of destruction. And I drove in town and saw the same thing. So I could go on and on and on and on and on about that. So that was my story. you know, I'm scared of tornadoes. I will tell you right now. After seeing that, me trying to chase tornadoes, it happened to me in Georgia. Props to Reed Timmer. Reed Timmer's a friend of mine now. He's always warning these storm chasers. You know, they're very hard to predict unless you know their nature. They plop down, they move. So yeah, you know, luckily so far I can't say because I don't know. I don't think there was any fatalities. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, you know, that was good news if true. But there you go. So, man, Florida could be a rocky winter. You know, so my beef again is this has happened countless times over the years. I don't like tornado watches issued at midnight. And this storm in particular, I saw conflicting messaging of it's going to be nothing or it's going to be something. And, you know, we live and learn. So, anyway, no true. That's good. Bobby Sherhorn, thank you. Hey, thanks, Lisa. Hopefully that's true. Jacob. All right, so we're going to get into the tropics now. I think I said everything I wanted to say about that. Just, again, how the community comes together. You know, same as hurricanes. I don't think I've ever been anywhere this quick after a disaster, and to see, well, even here at home, I've shot that video in Dunedin. They were already on scene. I met a bunch of linemen there. I met Frenchie's crew there. They were big fans. A bunch of linemen were fans. My Done Right crew was there helping. So it's amazing how quick people come together with these things. You know, that is a good. There's a Smo song. I don't know if you like country rap. There's an artist, Smo, SMO, and he's got a song about how people come together, and it's true. And it was a song about a twister and how people brought the town together. So anyway, all right. Tropics. Tropics. So we got Sean, and we got this Invest 94. We're going to talk about it. And go from there. So Sean, going to fizzle. There you go. It's going to be depression, end of the weekend. Not expected to do anything. Kind of been the theme with Sean. So we'll keep an eye on it, but it's out there and never land. There you go. The other one is interesting. And it was interesting 4 days ago, 3 days ago, yesterday, and today. CMC has become a pretty quality model last year, this year. So I never thought I'd see it displayed next to the Euro. Come a long way, Canada. Canadian. Hey, by the way, I wanted to bring this up, little Halloween humor. You know what that is, don't you? Sugar time. Time for these little guys. Sarah comes home. That kid, as you know, she's got Down syndrome. Love her to death. That doesn't mean anything. But I'm constantly amazed how smart she is, you know. You just kind of assume, you know, she is who she is, and sometimes, like, she shocks us. And came home from school the other day, within 1 second, she noticed the jar of candy corns. And, like, and Emily was the same way. Those kids have a knack. Like, if you could move something, they notice it, like, right away. And Sarah, as a kid, we would move her cup at eating dinner, and she'd always put it back. So my kids have a weird awareness about them. But she was so excited when Julie had the candy corns out. As I was. I don't like black. What is it? The jelly beans, but I love candy corn. All right. So when I put this post out about a odd, I can't read comments anymore. I do. I try. Trust me, I read them. But the level of argument, people love to argue. I could put a post about the sky blue. Some ass is going to say it's not. Or the best one, I saw it again today. I shared this a couple days ago. It's not going to hit the U.S., Mike. Why waste your time? It must be a slow season. Like, quit hyping nothing. And then I had, luckily, somebody from the Virgin Islands, somebody from Barbados, somebody from Turks and Caicos, somebody from Puerto Rico. They all were like, hey, listen, we're people too. So it's like, can't win. But anyway, so we have this system. And getting back to what I said was this was a very uncommon track this time of year. And then, of course, somebody's like, well, don't they all go that way? Well, in October, it's very weird to get a Cape Verde styles low pressure system, make it all the way across. That's why it's weird. There's not been a lot of them. So this is very rare for any low pressure to be organized and still make it this far west. So bottom line is this. We got people that watch next week, this time next week, just 7 days from now, we could have a tropical system nearing the islands. That affects a lot of people. You might be cruising down there. You might live down there. We got our friends in the Virgin Islands that live down there. You know, we got obviously all the little islands down there. A lot of them follow us. So this is coming. Tracks, the spaghetti models, these are all on tropicaltidbits.com. All three of these graphics. This is the Euro, the CMC, and the latest, all the models. So high confidence this thing's going west. Where does it go from there? We'll talk about it here in a little bit. I want to get into a little bit of the weather this weekend, and then we'll go into more specifics. And I don't mean to bitch, but it just makes me laugh sometimes, that's all. But then I meet literally 100 people yesterday, and then they bring me back to reality that we are a cool bunch. 99.9% of us are pretty awesome. We're a cool little army, the MWP army of weather people. This is a 3-day surface chart. So we got our leftover warm front kind of got pushed south. Here's our cold front. We have a legitimate cold front coming this weekend. So the bottom line of this cold front that's coming is this. Other than South Florida rains today, it does not look like it's got a lot of moisture in it. Could be a skinny little line of sprinkles. We might be measuring rainfall in sprinkles. Like Tampa got 8 sprinkles. Oldsmar got 1 sprinkle. We need 1. We got so much rain, I can't even tell you. It was so, we had, we talk about rain training a lot. We had a lot of rain training yesterday. Check this out. The Aldi by our house. This poor car, the water was up almost to the floorboard, and when people drove by, it actually splashed up into the sills there. So I hope they didn't get any water damage. But so it looks like this weekend's front, bottom line, is not bringing a lot of rain. It is going to bring storms. I'm going to show you real quick here for the Carolinas, and maybe some rains. Good news is for Long Island area and stuff, it looks like it's going to keep on moving out to the east, so we might not get those flooding rains that they were expecting in New England. But they're still going to get heavy rains tomorrow. And then here's the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow. This is pretty much all day today. There's a little bit of energy that's getting pulled up ahead of that low that's coming across New England. So there could be some instability tomorrow. Green, hopefully it stays green. They do mention that we could have a brief tornado spin up and some squally weather. So keep your eye open. Unfortunately, tomorrow for Carolinas on the eastern side and parts of South Carolina are not going to be the greatest if you got beach plans. And I know this time of year you probably are enjoying as many weekends as you got left before winter gets here. But tomorrow's not going to be the best beach day for sure. So there we go. Anyway. Yo, what's up, buddy? 60s, I know, man. Are 60s rare in Miami area? I got my fire pit put together. One of my skeletons. Oh God, we had a scene from like Crimes CSI here. I think I told you this. Maybe I didn't tell you this, but the witch fell down, and the witch laid on her back, and it was kind of funny because Sarah walked out there and it looked like a person. It's full-size witch, and my skeleton plopped over, and he was laying face first. Not the big one, but I got another one that's 8 foot, and he was laying face first in the grass. Looked like a long night drinking. So I moved the big skeleton into a chair, and now he's sitting there. So bottom line, we have our fire pit this weekend. We're gonna have a skeleton joining us. We've never had a skeleton hanging out with us by the fire pit. So that's kind of what we're gonna do. All right, tropics time. Let's dive right into ensembles, and then we're gonna get into other things. The ensembles are where we look at for long-range predictions and hopefully get an idea what's coming. So, the one common theme that we're seeing in long-range tropics the end of October is low shear forecast, warm water still, and a lot of low-pressure energy hanging out on both sides of the Central America. So I don't think we can say the season's over as far as impacts in the Western Caribbean, continental U.S., obviously that neck of the woods. But there's nothing really showing, so that's great news. All right, so long range, this is our Invest 94 pretty much. We go out 15 days. The majority of them have it curve. So we're not hyping Invest 94 to be anything for continental U.S., but I'm trying to get a good zoom in, but that's pretty much all I got right there. So 15 days out, most of the models are having it curve. Puerto Rico, got a lot of people watching us, Puerto Rico. So keep an eye on Invest 94. So far, a majority of them are, eventually we're going to have a frontal line. We have a frontal line this weekend coming down. They react to those frontal lines and they eventually get pulled up and turned. So that's your latest on Invest 94. We don't know how deep it's going to go, how west it's going to go, but at least out of the 51 members of the Euro there, it's showing a curve. The other area that we need to watch, and this has been the common theme, is here, basically, both sides. And we'll start really digesting that here in a second. So sometimes weak tropical waves hang out here. This weekend's front is going to actually end up down here somewhere, first part of the week, and that means a lot of rain. We got a lot of people watching in Belize, a lot of people down in Yucatan area. So we're going to have rain from this leftover front. We're going to have rains in the Caymans, maybe even reaching Jamaica. So sometimes these old fronts linger and they get going. So this is why the Western Caribbean this time of year is always a place to watch. Lowering pressures. Sometimes we get a little crossover energy that we saw. Believe it or not, this whole mess of storms in the Florida that we just saw was a combination of Invest 93, Lydia, and Max. All of that jet stream pulled moisture, energy into the Gulf. We had Invest 93. All that kind of came out of that general area. So long range. That's that. Another model I look at here is the probability color map, which I like. Kind of puts it a little easier to see. And we can look here. We'll look long range. This is going to be the approaching possibilities of Invest 94. You can notice a little tease here and there, more on the Pacific side. But the strongest signature is obviously Invest 94 into next weekend. And it eventually curves it. And, as always, we have leftovers or whatever kind of hanging out there. So there's no strong signature. Good news. Every day closer to November is a good thing. November 30th is the official end of hurricane season, but still got another month to really watch, unfortunately. As far as now, not too bad. So that's good. I want to show that. Let's take a look at the GFS ensembles because it's really the only other one that we can look at with long range 31 members of the GFS. And we'll put on SpaghettiOs. We all love spaghetti. Remember growing up eating SpaghettiOs? Remember the ravioli in the can? How healthy do you think that was to have meat in a can? All right, here's the approaching Invest 94. I don't really think the GFS has a good handle on anything on the operational runs, but it does pretty good on the ensembles. And you can see a general pull north, turn somewhere coming. And then what stays behind? Yeah, nothing really solid. I mean, these are your members. I don't really want to, that's hard to see. I try to do that before we get it. But, looking long range, I mean, we got just a few little spots. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, so nothing solid. But there are, a lot of members that are popping things over. So that's just telling everybody that the general area to watch going into the end of the month is definitely, Western Caribbean. Historically, climatology, all that good stuff. We got the new Global Tropics Hazards Map got posted on Wednesday. I believe it was posted on Wednesday, this one right here. And it's still, keeping things alive here towards the end of the month as far as formation goes. So that is official. And I'm sure it looks at things like overall conditions and et cetera. So that's it. I mean, I'm not making anything up. There's really, not kind of hard to predict that far out, but going back to temperatures are starting to cool down a little bit. They're still above normal. However, little bit here, a little bit there, not really a lot, I guess. Man, my tooth is starting to hurt. Sweet tooth. So they are still hot. Cool down a little bit, but still 2 degrees. This is above normal. This is normal, whatever normal means. So temperatures are just above normal. So when was let's look at Wilma just for interest. What year was Wilma? 2005. Yep, Wilma 2005. So let's look at the water temperatures back in 2005. In October, it was about the time frame. So I don't know if they used the same anomalies back then, though. That's the problem. But anyway, the 30-year anomaly back then, the waters were more. This was October 17th, kind of around the time it started. Actually, this is the whole week pretty much. So waters were normal, if that makes sense. We can actually look at actual temperatures back then, I believe. So the sea surface temperatures for 2005, just to show you how a system can still form. This is not saying we're going to have Wilma or anything. I'm just saying this is what the temperatures were then compared to now. And so temperatures back then, 88 is still hot. This is back in 2005. 84. 83. 82. 84. So, maybe at 85 here and there. Then we go to now. See, it's a little hotter. About 2 to 3 degrees above normal. So that's why you just can't turn your back. That's all. Not predicting it, not trying to scare anybody, just saying it can happen, and it's it has happened in the past. So here's a good look at the surface charts. By the way, this is kind of what Bermuda's dealing with right now. Just heavy stuff just passed through. Thursday night, Friday. That's right. So it was right. We would talk about Thursday, Friday night. Thursday night was going to be their worst, and it was. So this is a current look. All that stuff's moving out. So there you go. What else we talk about? So the tropics. Let's take a look at. Good morning, Tropical Troubles. That dog. Yo Hell sounds like a cool name. Wouldn't it be cool to have like a bar and like all your drinks were themed after like words? Like you'd have the El Nino, La Nina, the K index. We could have like a, instead of having like a Miss America contest, we could have like a model contest. We could dress up all the models somehow and like have a best looking model contest. I ain't got time for that. All right, so let's look at some individual runs here from Tropical Tidbits. Man, I couldn't believe the generators, though. I will say this. I could not believe the sound of generators in Crystal River. The houses that obviously lost power, but I've never really drove by and saw generators in action like that. And every house had a generator. Every house had a, not very many Furmans, but hearing the sound of generators, it's a little interesting. All right, so here is Tropical Tidbits. We're going to take a look. There's really nothing to look at, really, other than, this is Sean going away. Here's Invest 94. Main operational run showing, we'll talk about Carolinas next. So, little brief window, actually. It could get down to 998, 996. This is next Thursday morning, a week from yesterday. And it kind of starts to turn. But in the meantime, it right over the islands, almost over Puerto Rico. And the timing here would be next Friday night and through the weekend, pretty much next week. So that's been real consistent to watch. Canadian a little quicker, I believe, not much, but here you go, 1,008. This isn't very strong. Good news, not showing much strength, but wet, yes. And we know it doesn't take a lot of rain to cause big flooding. And it starts to turn a little bit there at the end. So that's kind of a common theme. The Icon picking up on it last night. Doesn't go out that far, but it's definitely keeping it going west. A little more development with the Icon to keep an eye on. So that's definitely, early run models don't do a very good job with intensity, especially the Euro. So I would not turn your back on this one. Let's see what the old H-Wharf is showing. Does a brief 980 spin up and then 1,003. So Euro's showing a little better chance of development than a weakening as it nears. So that's a good sight. There's Barbados, 1,003. Latest HAFS Haas model 494, and it's keeping it in the 1,000 range too. So definitely nothing to worry about, but watch, yes. All right, let's talk about the Carolinas. We got. Let me zoom in a little closer. Where did my models go here? Where the heck did Tropical Tidbits go? There. No, that's the wrong one. Oh, there it is right there. All right, so we're gonna zoom in a little bit to tomorrow. And zoom in on the East Coast. So got a kind of weird little system happening tomorrow. So some of this energy is going to get pulled up to that frontal line that's coming down for the Northeast and tomorrow. And this is kind of what you got here. So there it is. Boom. Little low pressure forms right there. And it's 999. So this is Saturday. Tabletop Greek, right? 999. Low pressures, tight gradient isobars. That's a number one name of the drink. Isobar. No, that's the name of the bar. Isobar. How about the gradient? What is it? A cement mixer? What kind of? Hey, anybody ABC listening? ABC. We should have a line of hurricane themed drinks, and we should have the isobar or the gradient and have different levels. That would be so cool. And the tighter the gradient, the more wins. So 999 is pretty low pressure developing over the Carolinas. This is not organized, nothing. This just means that lowering pressures means more storms, more winds, and stuff to watch, especially here when it's coming in off of the warm Gulf Stream. So definitely could see some nasty weather coming in off of the Atlantic to watch tomorrow. I did not look at this yet. I'm glad I just did because now I can report on it. 999. So yes, this is going to be a windy day. 998. Nothing to stress about when I say 998, but that's pretty low pressure over land. So yeah, for sure, Carolina tomorrow, eastern North Carolina, a little bit into South Carolina, but this is all throughout the day. This is in the morning, long gone by Sunday. Long gone by Sunday. Only tomorrow. Icon, it doesn't do good on these little spin-up systems, but it's still showing low pressure there. You can see the bigger rain to the north developing. Luckily, this thing's going to help accelerate that system out of the northeast and not really show the rain chance. So it's going to be a really interesting day here across the Carolinas. There's our low pressure off of Delaware a little bit more, but I would stick to the official forecast at eastern North Carolina there. The winds, let's go back to windy here. This is the Euro. We can get a better look here on the kind of what it might look like tomorrow as our winds pick up. So there's Myrtle Beach. This is in the morning, Saturday morning. So if you're at Myrtle Beach, party like a rock star tonight and sleep in because you're not going to the beach in the morning. Sunday is a better day. And here's our storms throughout the day moving around. Wilmington, this is around 11 noon tomorrow. These are storms. There's storms along the Outer Banks. There's our low pressure up here. So that's 7 p.m. Here's winds. Normal stuff. This isn't going to be any type of coastal event, but it'll be windy along the coast as this thing spins out of here by Sunday. Well, kind of cool to see that. Now we know for sure it's definitely going to happen. Frontal line over the weekend. Let's take a look at that. So let's go back to Florida now. That frontal line is coming. Here it comes. Very little rain this weekend. Saturday, here you can't even see it come through there. You can follow the high pressure, but maybe a little lingers in the south part of Florida. But as far as accumulation goes, very little. So the heaviest rains are happening now. Maybe a little more fuel for the weekend, but as far as north of Okeechobee, as far as the front goes, and why is this important for me is the girls have homecoming tomorrow. Hey dads, let me ask the question to some dads out there. The girls I had to buy 2 homecoming dresses, not just one. This is where Julie made a mistake. She was very excited to tell me that the store owner took $200 off because they bought their homecoming dress there, or their prom dress, or whatever the last dress was. They can't wear a last dress. So I don't know if you're supposed to be excited when they tell you they took $200 off, because you're thinking, that means we made money? They paid us, $50 dress, right? We bought 2 of them, $100, right? We got $100 back, cash. I don't think it worked that way. Bill, I don't think I got a good night's sleep. I did not. I don't know why. I was so wired getting home, and then our AC didn't work, and somehow, a miracle, I got it to work last night. I don't know what I did. So I was stressing about that and went to Chili's, and I was just so wired that James, let's keep that. I didn't want to see the double. I didn't want to see 2 zeros. I'm a little donkey. Somebody mailed me this a long time ago. Was it Linda? Linda mailed me the crayons. I don't know how I remember these things. Linda, I think you dumped these off on a Halloween many years ago. I still kept them. I love memories. But this little donkey always sits up here. He fell down. That's why I'm putting it back up here. But he's always watching me. My little guy. What you looking at? Anyway. So the good news, selfishly for me, is what I'm getting at, is it does not look like a lot of rain. I miss seafood. Hey, my buddy from Frenchie's, though, loves my shrimp broil pictures. So I think our next shrimp broil, we're going to swing by there and get some goodies from Frenchie's. Who doesn't love Frenchie's? Who does not love she crab soup? That stuff should be illegal. Oh, God, I could go for some right now. I think we're going to the Cracker Kitchen tonight. Anybody been there? There's a seafood one here at Tampa now. They have a grits and grilled. I don't remember what kind of fish it was, but it was. I think it was grilled mahi, maybe. Oh God. All right, so here's the frontal line through the day today. This kind of lingers. You can notice the flow. West to east. You know, it's going to be some showers popping. You know, it's hot out there. Have you noticed your windows, how wet they are? Look at your windows right now if you live in the South. The Chili's was dripping yesterday. Every air conditioner was dripping. I've never seen it that humid inside there. They were dripping. It looked like it looked like we were at the Bellagio. They were dripping so much water. I was like, oh, that's cool. But it's just like, boom, the humidity is unbelievable. All that rain we had. So South Florida, it's like summer to y'all down there. Storms are popping. Now watch. Throughout the day tomorrow, here we go. We're getting in overnight hours tonight. This is kind of lightens off like it does. The morning tomorrow. Where are you, front? Ah, sprinkle time. So there's your front. One sprinkle for you, 2 sprinkles for me. This is late Saturday night. Sorry, I'm picking my nose. There's our front. Looks like it actually slowed down a little bit, but there it comes. Oh, he's such a cute little guy. This is Sunday, 4 a.m. So we have a sprinkle alert Saturday night if you live in where I am. And look at that little cute guy. So anyway, you know what's behind that? Cool. Look at that rain just lingers down south, though. Unfortunately, hopefully it's out of here most of Sunday, but it's going to be kind of a wet Friday and Saturday for you guys in South Florida. This is Sunday morning. Unfortunately, the Keys. It's going to be hot and muggy. There comes the front. It might push it out of here for later Sunday, but it doesn't look good for that. I need to post that because that's a good piece of news right there. I want to post the Carolina low. What else I got to talk about? Oh, I guess we can talk about the Caribbean. 94. Gotta do a TikTok later too. I don't know what to talk about. Let's see. James wants to know about soccer in Fort Myers. Canceled? I don't know, man. It's so hit or miss. This is very isolated. I wouldn't think canceled. Maybe some morning showers. Nothing's long. So I think it's too spotty to cancel anything, and it doesn't look like there's much. We got some isolated, I guess. It just depends on wherever these things set up. Here's your rainfall totals through Sunday morning. Obviously, South Florida gets it a lot, but let's look at things like this. Let's look at temperatures and how dry things are going to be. So let's look at the southeast. I wish Texas was included on these maps, but they're not. So let's just watch the temperature line come down. Here we go. All right, so here's tomorrow. Today's Friday. Obviously, it's hot, humid. We know that. But here comes the front tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow, there's our frontal line, Louisiana, northeastern, maybe parts of Georgia here. So we have upper 80s in the south, low 80s in the north. Then tomorrow night, it really doesn't get here tomorrow night. 80 for Naples tomorrow night as a low. 82 at the Keys. Hot and humid tomorrow night, Saturday night. Here's the front line for Sunday. And here it comes. Boom. So Monday night or Sunday night. Here's Sunday night. Boom. It has made it through. And we got low 60s showing for South Florida Sunday night into Monday. 50s and some 40s. This isn't like really cold, but it dips deep. Deep down in Florida. Monday night, I think Tuesday morning might even be colder. Oh, look at this. This is unheard of. All right. Can you believe it? Monday night, we're going to have our first 50s here in Oldsmar. Almost guaranteed. We're always colder than the Pinellas. Pinellas is always warm because of the Gulf. 61 for Miami Monday night. 60 for Lauderdale. 74 for the Keys. You're surrounded by warm water. And then it kind of hangs around a little bit. Look at this. So Tuesday night, 55 in Tampa on Tuesday night. Are you kidding me? Slow warm up Wednesday night. But look at our highs. Even our highs for Tuesday. 69 for a high on Tuesday. 70 for a high in Orlando. Never gets out of the 60s for the upper Gulf Coast. This is on Tuesday. High is 74 in Miami. Wednesday highs creeping back up a little bit, maybe. But Wednesday highs are not going to get out of the 70s for a lot of people. So that is incredible. Dry air, humidity. It's going to be very low. That's a hard map to look at. Let's look at water vapor. Water vapor is always a lot easier to look at if I can find it. Maybe dew point, humidity. Where's the water vapor at? Precipitable water. Yeah, this is there. There's your water vapor map. So here's your frontal line coming through. This is the moisture in the air. So Saturday, tale of two things. Saturday, very moist in the south, very dry. So look at the panhandle, very dry. The south, moist. But our front comes down, and Monday, dry. That's dry air. There will be no moisture. There will be no wet windows on Tuesday. And then things kind of come back. Another front comes down. That's a big one. All right, so there's that. Another model I want to look at real quick. Let's go back to tropical tidbits. If we were to look at tropical development in the Caribbean, this is the frontal line that's coming through. Here's our frontal line next Tuesday. And this is the lingering leftovers kind of hanging out. This is a moisture map, 24-hour moisture map. So you can kind of see that front pivots down. Now, you can argue this. This is the 17th. Moisture, some of this moisture gets pulled in. And this is kind of where some of the models were showing development, Canadian included. And here's the GFS for Wednesday. Boom, big surge in moisture. This is a moisture map showing rainfall basically, but this is that tail end of the front coming this weekend that if something were to try to get going, could try to pull up. Now, just kind of focus on that. You see the general thinking. And this is the Sunday, October 22nd. That's our next front coming down. Fronts pick and pull. So next Thursday, our next front's coming down a week from Thursday, and it'll help pull whatever up. This is why the Western Caribbean's the place to watch the tropics in October, November. Things get brewing down here. They get picked up by frontal systems up here, and they ultimately turn out ahead of these things. So this isn't really development showing, but it shows you that pattern of an old front, how it can linger and turn. So it's fascinating. I might show that too. I'm trying to think of things to post today. I felt guilty yesterday not posting all day. I don't know why I should feel guilty, but I do. And then the Euro is showing kind of the same thing. Here's our front next week. This is next Monday. There's the Euro. Heavy rain down in Belize. I know we got a lot of people down there watching Central America. We got a lot of people in Belize watching. That's awesome. So Belize, you're going to get rain on Monday and Tuesday from our lingering front right there. We got rain in the Caymans. We got rain maybe reaching Jamaica as this juice gets pulled up. And then the Euro kind of keeps it down there. Maybe pulls some of that tropical moisture up to next week's front. And the Canadian was showing development down there, but now it's not. But doesn't mean stop watching. It just means that confidence is there, and then it's not, and then it's there, and then it's not. But this is why we watch that little area right there. Okay. Makes sense. I think that's all I got to say. Let's look at, I guess I want to look at one more thing here. Looked like a pretty heavy front coming down the following weekend. Let's see. Looked like it could be another strong front. Yeah, so that could be potential strong storms for the south a week from Friday, next week. That did look like a pretty strong little dip in the jet down there. We'll keep an eye on that. It didn't show it as much last night, but this is basically just instability in the atmosphere a week from next. But the Euro showing a pretty big dip in the jet stream, meaning we could see almost spring-style storms pulling up here across the south in these colored areas. And that one really gets down into Florida. It'll be a week from Saturday. I'm going to keep an eye on this right here. Wow. That's showing a lot of instability down there a week from next week. Holy cow. Storm Prediction Center talking about it yet? Day 8? Nope. Let's see what they say. I feel that they just only like to talk about the plains. Remember, it was not last week we had no mention about Florida ever until the last minute, it seemed like. They don't focus on anybody but it seems like middle U.S. I don't know why. But this will be something interesting to watch. We can look at God, I want to look at anomaly map here for that time frame. Yeah, that's a pretty big dip in the jet, man. Want to see if it's cut off or not, but that could indicate some strong storms coming following weekend. Something to watch. Linda, it was Linda. I believe Linda. I didn't read comments. Tails or fronts make blobs. I was busy driving yesterday, Bill Teeple. Yes. I don't even understand. I somehow I ended up in Brooksville, almost Ocala, at 2 in the morning. I met another storm chaser though. It was pretty cool. Nader Chaser. What was his name? Nader Chaser. And I'm like, I gotta go home. It was like 4:30. I got home and turned around at 6. Did it again. So, Eric, the water temperatures are staying warm. You know, these cold fronts help cool things down. Rainfall helps cool things down. Takes time for the Gulf to warm or cool back down. Especially, you know, we get the main driver of heat for Gulf is this. This ocean heat content is incredibly warm in the Western Caribbean, and this gets pumped into the Gulf from the Gulf Stream. So we look at how warm the Gulf's going to be by how hot the ocean heat content is in the Western Caribbean here, and that's all driven by the Gulf Stream, which pumps in that water deep into the Gulf of Mexico. So this warm water here, which is very warm here, gets fed up into here and disperses through the Gulf. So this is a major source of heat for the Gulf down here. But as long as these cold fronts start coming down, we get a lot of rain. Cold fronts push farther south. Equator shifts to direct sunlight. You know, this time of year, the Earth's starting to tilt more. So you don't have direct, as much direct sunlight anymore. All those little things add up. But the fact that we're 3 to 4 degrees above now means it might take that much longer to cool back down. That's why you can't rule out a late season system. Stuff like that. So, anyway. Well, I think there's a solar eclipse this weekend. Hey, Chris, I wear a 2X. Later, Nader. I have a P.O. box. What you got? Homestead next weekend, Ashley. Good question. Too far to know. It will be interesting to see this dip next week right here. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but could be rainy Saturday, but this will change. Tell you what though, man, this is a really, really interesting low pressure system next week. I might mention it. Mr. Kenneth James, see you, buddy. Launch is done. Oh, they had a launch. I missed the launch. Sorry, Shelly. You could have. Oh man, we should have done a live. Power bill, Jen. Oh my God. You want to talk about a power bill? All right. Well, everybody have a great day. Appreciate you following us. Hello from TikTok. You know, it was a long, stressful week tracking. You know, I debate a lot of times what I'm going to post because you don't want to hype, you know, and TikTok, there's a lot of people on TikTok that don't know me, but I got 250,000 followers over there now. It's nuts. And I did a video Wednesday morning, let people know we had tornado possible Wednesday night, and I got hammered a lot over there. But this is what I do. Follow me over there.
Coming tonight. That is a big blob of storms. So if you're in Florida, pay attention, spread the word. There's going to be some nasty storms overnight. This is an estimated look at what's cooking out there throughout the day today.
Can't see it.
There's going to be some storms in the peninsula this evening, but the big stuff comes overnight, spreads through the whole coast, all the way to the East Coast, pretty much the peninsula, up maybe Okeechobee north, but the big stuff through Tampa Bay, West Central tonight. Estimated look at radar shows some bands starting this evening, but pretty much through the night with a secondary line developing in the morning hours tomorrow, Thursday, and that's going to push down a little bit. So we got a couple whammies, I call them, a couple double whammies. Little one tonight, the big one around midnight, 1 o'clock, West Central Florida is going to push inland. And then we have even...
so I'll tell you this. I mean, I'm very careful when I post things. Trust me. I do a lot of research, you know. So I take a lot of pride in what I put on social media, you know. And yeah, I've been wrong, you know. Lee wasn't that big a deal, and I said I didn't really understand Northeast weather and pressures, but as far as Southern weather, you know, so all signs looked like it was going to be pretty severe, and it was. So you know, I feel really bad for those that got hit, because I learned a lot about tornadoes. You know, we got chasers out west. You know, I don't live out west, but we had an unprecedented event here the other night. Several tornado warnings in Oldsmar, which is rare. So anyway. All right, well, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll post some homecoming pictures if they let me. And I do have a spirit-themed picture Julie wants me to put up, so I'm going to put one of them up with the kids. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching this week. You know, it's been a long week, and we'll do it again next week. Might be busy winter. It was, you know, so nice to meet so many people along the way, especially, you know, yesterday. And there you go. Hopefully I covered a lot of weather for you. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you Monday, all right? Bye.